Hello everyone, this is Scott of ET Database, and I want to show you some alien structures on the planet Venus like you've never seen before. Hold on tight. The first structures we're going to look at are over here in this location, so let's zoom in and check them out. Now there's quite a few structures here that we're looking at, but the main one is this. Look at this huge object right here. Can you see that? It's pretty big. And it's not the only one around. There's quite a few objects around. Like down here, there's another one. This object here. This whole area right here seems to be full of structures, including one that's way over here. Let's take a closer look. Now you can see this structure is very reflective, and I mentioned many times before that there was some white reflective structures on the moon and some other planets. Well, this is Venus, and I believe it's a white reflective structure, but they put the surface of Venus, they put the surface in a false color. Now I'm not sure why they put it in false color. Maybe they have trouble seeing these white structures too, and that's why they did it. Now there's some lines here, right here. They actually look like these are lines from the photo being sewn together, but I could be mistaken about that because in some locations these lines seem to meld into the hills. Okay, look at this. Do you see these walls right here? There's 1, 2, 3 walls, a third one that comes out like an E and a little circular pattern here. This has almost like you see this cut right here like a top of a castle or something, and it comes down, and there's this big black rectangle opening right here like it's a spaceport or something. Now I'm going to make this a little bit darker because I believe if I do, you'll be able to see a little bit more detail. Here we go. Okay, can you see the detail a little bit better? It's hard because the white is actually yellow now. It doesn't really make it more clear, does it? So this is one of the structures I want to show you. Here's another. There's another one right here. My cursor is on top of it, actually, right here. Do you see it standing up? And these lines, are these lines from being sewn together, or are these lines actually melding into the environment? It's very odd. You could see some other structures here with pipes, and quite a few. There's a round structure there. If we come down, there's another structure. It looks like a landed spaceship almost, doesn't it? I can't get this any closer than it is, but it does look like a landed spaceship. And in the center of it right here, the black window, it looks like some kind of cockpit area. It looks like a huge center area, like a flying disc has a center dome sometimes, not all the time, but often. Well, this one looks like it has a dome also, but the top of the dome is blocked out, and the edges of the dome are a black tinted window. That looks to me like a stingray-like giant ship. I mean, this is the surface of Venus. These things aren't supposed to be there or look like this, but yet they are. If we come over a little bit more, there's another object right here. Not sure if you can see this very well. Let's try to darken it. Maybe that will help. Really doesn't help, does it? Okay, the object is right here, and it's pretty incredible. Let's add regular darkening. Can you see it a little bit better? Not really, huh? Sorry guys, I'm coming down with a cold, so you might hear a slight change in my voice. It's nothing to worry about. It's just a little tiniest cold. Okay, so these structures are all over the place, and these lines right here seem to go right into almost this structure. They seem to be built into the surface, don't they? Do you see this face here? Now this face is a little bit hard to see. Let's add darkening. You can kind of see a face with a veil over it and around it. Nose, mouth, eyes, strange forehead. and there's a veil, or maybe that's hair all around it. Some interesting things, isn't it? In this particular location on the map, there seems to be a hovering spaceship right there. Now, I've never seen anything like this shape of a spaceship before, and it doesn't look like a structure. It actually looks like it's hovering above the surface. You can see the darkness below it, and you can see the shape of it. It's almost like a half tunnel shape that's wide at one end, thin at the other, with a little leg. I'd imagine if this is a ship, there's another little leg on the other side. But this does look like a hovering ship. Now, right here we have some really incredible structures, and these structures almost look like crashed ships from the Battlestar Galactica. I'm talking about this one right down here in particular. They all look like what we imagine alien structures might look like one day. These are incredible structures that we have never seen anything like before on Earth. This is the surface of Venus. As you see, I'm zooming out and zooming back in. So these structures are really incredible. I mean, the shapes are incredibly unique and odd. It's just really strange, isn't it? They almost look like giant fungus-like structures. Now, I can't get them any bigger than this, but can I get them any more focused? This is what happens when I add darkness to them. You can still see them. You can still see them quite well. Let's see how big I can make it there. And yet the detail's still there. You can see the more three-dimensional aspects of the structures and the edges this way. But let's put it back in this one. It's so much easier to see. And it looks like there's another structure here. The whole surface of Venus itself may be covered in these structures. See this honeycomb structure? Now, these honeycomb tunnel-like things on the surface seem to be like our own freeways. Do you see a ear right there? It looks just like an ear, doesn't it? I guess Venus is listening. This is just absolutely amazing to me. These structures are just so huge and incredible. And I wonder who made them, and I wonder what they're like to enter them. But they are really big. I imagine just one of these structures is bigger than the state of Texas. And that's pretty big, guys. That's pretty big. They are not tiny things, and they were not built overnight, obviously. Clearly, they were built over hundreds or thousands of years. And when you're an alien, you probably have an infinite or close to infinite life. So, time means very little. Absolutely incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible, guys. What we're looking at is a whole section of Venus, and there's quite a few structures right over here, and these lines appear to be also structures, but they could be a problem, a glitch of the photo process. Now look at this right here. There seems to be a pretty cool teardrop structure right there. I'm going to try to add some darkness to it and see what happens. Can you see this teardrop structure right there? Pretty cool. But I want to come over a little bit and look at some other structures. There's really quite a few others, and the one I want to see the most is right here. Right here. Now we see these little lines, but these lines seem to be on the surface of the planet. Do you see that? It's like some kind of excuse me, I have a cold. It's like some kind of planetary defense or something. I mean, I thought at first that these lines here were glitches in the photo matrix, but it's not. Do you see this other line below it? This long goes from here to here, and it has other lines here, but these are built into the area itself. Well, this is actually a structure, and you see more structures all over. Just absolutely incredible. Look at these huge, huge tunnels. Do you see these huge tunnels under the surface? Absolutely incredible. Maybe a giant face here. It's hard to tell. Maybe it's artistic. Whatever it is just absolutely incredible. It really is. There's an interesting structure. It's darker right here, and it looks like it's inside of a crater. Look at that. It's huge. Really, there's just so many possible structures here on Venus itself that the proof is absolutely undeniable. The proof that there is life on Venus after looking at this is 100% undeniable. So there's no reason why we should believe that we're alone in the universe when there's so much evidence right next to us on a little planet called Venus. Normally we can't see Venus very well because the clouds are blocking out the view of its surface, but this photo here is a great view of the Venus surface. Absolutely incredible, isn't it? There's just so much there. What is this shiny object with a trail behind it? And the trail gets bigger. Okay, let's zoom in on that. Maybe that's a photo glitch, or maybe that's a white building with a little trail of smaller structures it's making behind it. It's hard to tell for sure, so I'm focusing on the bigger structures, the things that I think we need to see the most. This almost looks like the neck, shoulders, head, an extended forehead with a crown on it of a person. Let's zoom in on this structure here. Right there. Looking around for more structures. Now this is kind of strange. These lines come over this almost like they are photo lines, but they don't appear to be photo lines, do they? These lines appear to be structures themselves. Now that's a little baffling to me. I didn't expect to find those lines to be structures, and perhaps they're not, but they appear to be, don't they? They really do. Let's zoom in on some of these. Here's one of the structures. This is strange, isn't it? Is it possibly a structure also? And wow. Don't know if those are structures or not. I'm just zooming on things that look like they could be structures. Now the inside of this crater shows me with a perfect division between this half and this half that it is a structure. Now you need to find balance. You need to find some proof that they're structures, and I believe we're doing that. But there is really so much in this Venus photograph. Now, are these structures, or is this a photo glitch? I don't know. I'm not focusing on them. I'm focusing on other things, like these structures under the surface. You can see the surface of this white stuff covering it, and this like air vents underneath. Isn't that strange? This is incredible, but let's make this darker so we can see it better. Whoa, it's like fire, isn't it, with that false color? And you sort of see a face there. Let's get rid of that. Let's go to darkening instead. Darkening does not help me at all. Okay, there's quite a few interesting possibilities for structures. There is a face over here. I don't know if you see the face. It looks like of an animal, ear, head. Venus is one absolutely incredible planet with all these interesting surfaces, and these surfaces, these shiny surfaces, have the possibility of being structures. But why is this blocked out? Is it blocked out, or is this actually the surface of part of Venus? I don't know. You see that there's some blocking out over here. Wow. And then we're back here again. Okay, sorry about that long chat and showing you around Venus a little bit. I just wanted to show you some of the things I saw and then get back to these structures, main structures again. Get your thoughts on what you think they are. Who do you think lives on Venus? If you've ever read the book by the American VIP who used to be a priest and work for the United States president, meeting other VIPs coming from other countries. His name was Dr. Frank Strange, and he wrote a book called The Stranger in the Pentagon. And the stranger is called Val Thor, who stayed for a few years, and his spaceship was actually landed in a lake near Washington, D.C. Excuse me. Well, anyway, apparently this stranger, this commander, Val Thor, was from the planet Venus. And no doors could hold him, and he was not worried about anything, but he was worried that when he went to visit some officials in the Pentagon, nobody seemed to care about his thoughts of how they can fix the planet, how they can make things better, how they can feed the poor, and how they can help each other. And they don't need wars to do any of this. They don't need weapons to do any of this. So Val Thor is apparently from Venus. And this commander, he said, knows a guy named Jesus. Believe it or not, he said the person who went by the name of Jesus on our planet long ago, 2,000 years ago, is actually his adopted brother and in deep state of meditation at his home. So apparently Jesus has been adopted by this Val Thor. I know that's weird. And Val Thor is from Venus. So if that's true, Jesus is there too. So we need to send some messages directly to Venus using radio telescopes. Contact this Val Thor or Jesus. Apparently he's an alien 100%. So like and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. See you later.